Hey y'all!
Welcome back to another episode, the final for the year.
Oh yeah.
Well,
no.
We might do our
Wrong.
mid-month episode, but our final main episode of the year.
Yeah, that's correct.
We didn't start too long ago, but it feels like we've been doing this forever. We're having so much fun with the podcast.
We're just old pros. Just hanging out.
Yep, there have been some changes going on yet again, as we say at the beginning of every podcast. But, you know, the world keeps changing, so we have to keep changing. The board had a meeting that Kelsey attended.
Yep.
I was unable to attend, but I did get to hear lots about it. They made the decision that starting it was last Wednesday, the board meeting?
Yeah.
That from then on, they are getting rid of the time limits.
Correct.
For the library, regardless of kind of what state we're in, which is really great because now people can come in and, you know, use, if you need more than 30 minutes on the computer to get something done, you can have time. If you need somewhere to just come sit and do work for a little while, you can have time. Because we're just trying to work around, you know, the pandemic's going to be here. Coronavirus is going to be here with us likely for the rest of our lives.
Right.
It's one of those things that wasn't in the world before, and now we have to think about it.
Yeah.
So we're learning to live with it.
Correct.
And we have to get back to our the purpose of the library.
Yeah.
Of a place for people to be without having to spend money and things like that.
Right. Which the time limits we really felt like were something that was an easy restriction to move back.
Yeah. And things are going to be changing all the time. We may go back to offering certain programming with limited numbers of people, using certain rooms with, half capacity, things like that. We're just trying to work around the circumstances we're in. So there will be no time limits at any of the branches from here on out. We do still have the mask requirements. We're not doing a lot of the in-person programming right now, but a lot of other things have returned to normal. You can come in, get your stuff, hang out, see your favorite librarian. We've been seeing lots of people come in for the first time in a while.
Yeah, which is great. It's great to see everybody and see the regular patrons. I'm still missing my teens so much from teen programming. And it's crazy because when I'm able to safely implement in-person programming again, it's going to be like a whole new batch of teens.
That's true. They grow out a teen pretty quick.
I know, which is crazy. And when I took over all of the teen stuff here, it was like right before the pandemic started. So I just started to get to know those kids, and now they're all going to be gone, leaving me. But it is what it is. That flexibility again, man. Gotta be flexible.
So we'll keep you all up to date on any of those changes coming to the library, and you can always see the website. Give us a call. We'll tell you exactly what's going on every day.
For sure.
But then speaking of teens, Kelsey got an interesting little toy delivered.
And when you say little,
it's huge.
This package, when it showed up yesterday, I was like, I messed up, guys. This is a very large package.
A crate, if you will.
It is an entire crate, and it is full of VR headsets. So if you're not familiar with VR, that stands for virtual reality. For all you old people like Jacob and I, we honestly haven't gotten past opening the crate.
Yeah, we finally realized that we had to cut the zip ties off.
Yeah, it's intimidating. Like, being completely honest, I've never touched a VR headset in my life. This was something that
demonstrations at the mall.
No, I've never done any. I'm too embarrassed to do that in public.
Yeah.
I don't want people watching.
I haven't either.
Yeah, hard pass. But I requested these through the Missouri State Library. They were offering them as like a programming situation. And so I requested these months ago for the month of December, hoping that we would be back in person and, we could safely implement some in-person programming over the school's holiday breaks, but that is not happening. But I went ahead and had them delivered still because I am thinking about maybe investing in VR within the library. I've been reading a lot of articles recently about how to use these, and I think it'd be pretty cool for teens and adults.
Yeah, definitely. We have, I think for the teens, our most popular programs are all kind of geared around gaming and being able to get together in those small groups.
Yeah, definitely. When I tell them that I am going to bring out the Switch,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. It is like I'm having to break up fights down here over who's next and who beat who in Mario Kart. And so that is definitely like a very popular programming. So I do know without a doubt that VR would be a hit. It's just a matter of, it is a little bit of an investment.
Yeah. And it's something that things that we think about at the library is like, we don't want anything to just sit around and not be used.
Right.
So finding all of those creative ways we can have them here, but we can also go give, whenever like middle schools and high schools have those, job.
Oh, like a job fair.
Like a job fair.
Yeah.
Where people from the community come in. It's a perfect thing to bring out to those kinds of events.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of uses for it. So we'll be taking a look at these VR headsets and seeing if they make us nauseous because we're old.
Like I said, I'm very intimidated by them. Just opening the box alone, I was like, oh dear.
I'm very scared of VR because those like IMAX movies?
Yes.
That makes me nauseous.
Yes. I get nauseous like driving home every night. So I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this without throwing up. But so I went ahead and had them delivered. They arrived yesterday, and I'm going to have the staff here try them out for me and let me know what everybody thinks about the VR.
It's definitely going to be interesting with our staff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any details about it, so I'm like a little hesitant, but I think it'll be fun. Some good team bonding.
We'll see how it works out, and maybe we'll report back on the podcast how many people got sick from using VR.
Shirley,
or maybe it'll be perfect.
Shirley said she has done VR before. She told me that she walked with dinosaurs and almost fell off a cliff. It was like a whole story, but she was like, and I was so embarrassed because I was in my daughter's living room or something like that. And I was like, did you forget? Like, was it that realistic that you legitimately thought you were walking with dinosaurs? Because that's impressive.
Shirley is our branch manager here.
And one of the funniest human beings on the planet.
We're trying so hard to get her on the podcast. She's going to come one day. She just has to be prepared.
She's so funny.
She's the funniest person.
And like that she doesn't know she's funny, which is the best part.
Yeah.
Like she's unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
Which are truly the best people.
It's really great. Well, Kelsey, I also think the people will be interested. I realized that the last time we talked about the cat was basically the day you found him.
Yeah.
What has happened to the cat?
We kept the cat. Which my husband is so thrilled. Yeah, we kept the cat. We named him Petey, like from the Dogman series by Dave Pilkey.
Oh, I'm unfamiliar. Is it an orange cat in the series?
It is, yeah. It's an orange cat. And so I just liked the name Petey. So when my son, he's 9, he was like, we should name him Petey. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is the cutest name. And then he was like, it's from Dogman. And I was like, well, it's better than from a TV show, I guess. But yeah, so.
It's literary.
You're right. So we kept the cat. My other cat, Dale, doesn't really know what to think yet. They fight a lot.
Yeah.
But not like, they're not, I don't know. I don't think they're like trying to hurt each other. I think they're just playing. They just play a little too rough.
Yeah.
So now I'm just yelling at my kids and my cats. Just all the time. I'm just constantly telling everyone to calm down. Everybody, calm down. So I don't know. My
Well,
house
that
is
should be
crazy.
interesting because I remember last year it was a struggle, um, Dale, with your Christmas decorations. Well, I'm glad everything is working out with the cat. It sounds like just bliss,
Um,
Christmas bliss.
it's pure chaos a lot of the time, but it would have been chaos without the cat. I mean, you know my family.
That's
It's
very true.
We are really chaotic people.
It just seems like you go full chaos. You know, it wasn't just move out of the house into a duplex and build a house. It was also get another cat as we're going into the winter time.
Get COVID.
Get COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a really
Hey,
crazy, chaotic
makes you
month.
stronger, right?
Yeah, but it's not ideal to quarantine with COVID when you're in a smaller location because we just like were on top of each other the whole time and everybody was fighting. And like 2 hours into the quarantine, Mackenzie, my 8-year-old, was like, "How much longer do we have to do this?" And it's like when you're in the car and they're like, "Are we there yet?" And it's like, we are never going to get there. It's like, we are 2 hours into this. You better buckle up, sister.
Well, there is a little bit of news in library world that we can talk about,
Okay.
which is this is actually something that started, I think, all the way back in 2014, which is, do you know anything about what when I say subject headings, what those are?
No, explain it to me.
So subject headings are like in a database when you're looking up books, like in a library catalog, and you're looking for things about um, knitting, about crocheting, about you're not looking for a specific book, but you can use them to browse.
Right.
So that's the subject headings get applied to those books. So like if you have a book that's about knitting and crocheting, it will have a subject heading about that says knitting and one that says crocheting. And it's really important for these to be like things that people use, the words people use, spelled correctly, and like they include variants of the spelling. Like when you're looking something up on Google and it kind of like auto corrects the things that you're trying to type in. For a library catalog to work really well, it has to be able to find things even when people can't spell it.
Okay.
So subject headings are really important because they're what allows you, like once you find a book, you can see that it has a subject heading of knitting. You click on that subject heading, it'll show you everything else that has a subject heading knitting.
Oh, okay.
So there's all kinds of uses for these things. And depending on like what library you're at, you're going to be using a different set of subject headings. Now, these are the ones from the Library of Congress. Now, the Library of Congress kind of sets the standard, not only in the United States, but globally.
Right.
Not everyone uses Library of Congress subject headings, but a huge percentage of libraries use Library of Congress subject headings to organize their records. And when you look up a book, you'll often see these in it. So, but way back in 2014, some students at Dartmouth found out that when they were looking for information for their research project, that the Library of Congress subject heading that was being used was illegal aliens. And, you know, as time goes on, the meaning of language changes,
Sure.
all that sort of thing. And so it was deemed that that was outdated language that was, for all kinds of reasons,
Right.
that it was dehumanizing, but it also, at that point in time, was starting to become something that was used less and less.
Definitely.
And so, like I said, the whole point of subject headings is that you want them to be something that people will be able to find.
Mm-hmm.
So if people aren't using that term, they're never going to find these materials. So way back then in 2014, you can send us a application thing to the Library of Congress saying, you're using this term, you should use this term instead. And way back then, the Dartmouth students did that with the help of their librarians there. And the Library of Congress rejected their change. But it was because of the thing they wanted to change it to also just didn't quite work. They recognized that using illegal aliens wasn't helpful anymore, but the Dartmouth students change just didn't work right.
Right. It didn't have a good alternative.
Yeah. So that kind of, it really picked up in library world. This was like kind of big news when it happened back in 2014 among librarians, because these subject headings get changed all the time.
Sure.
Like they put out a list every month of new and changed subject headings.
Oh, wow.
It happens all the time.
Okay.
But sometimes there are things like this that have like a much broader implication in our society. And so this got picked up by the American Library Association, who also campaigned to get the illegal alien changed. And they convened a whole bunch of people from the American Library Association and the Library of Congress together to try and figure out, well, if we don't want to use that, what should we use? And then it got really interesting, because in 2014, 15, right around the time that this first came up, this issue actually got picked up in the mainstream press and was discovered by politicians.
Oof.
And the Library of Congress works for Congress.
Right.
They get their money from Congress, they get their charter from Congress, all that kind of stuff. And for the first time ever, Congress actually stepped in and made legislation telling them that they could not change illegal aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And this was around the end of Obama's second term,
Okay.
when there was a Republican majority in Congress.
Right.
And I believe there was. And so they actually blocked them from being able to do that. They made legislation and tied it to an appropriations budget that made them unable to change it from illegal aliens. And they had their arguments of why they shouldn't do that. But it was just an unprecedented step for Congress to step in and tell the Library of Congress how to do library things. It's just they don't know what a subject heading is. And when you go back and listen to interviews with the Congress people, they're just using all kinds of random words when this is like a really specific thing that is like subject headings is some people's whole job, 9 to 5, 40 hours a week.
Right.
They sit in the Library of Congress and do subject headings. So that got put on the back burner for a very long time until just very recently. I think it was November 18th, something like that.
Just a few days ago.
Just a few days ago, they announced that they will be changing illegal aliens at this point, and they're going to change it to. So the problem is that they use aliens and illegal aliens, and you can already see the problem with aliens. Like, that's obvious. If you type in aliens, you want these subject headings to be pulling up things you're interested in.
Correct.
When you type in aliens, it's going to pull up things about quote unquote illegal aliens and extraterrestrials.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So they decided that also the word aliens, which has a much older history in the subject headings, would also be changed. So they're going to now change these to non-citizens and unauthorized immigration.
Okay.
And that has been determined. They're using those specific words for specific reasons to make clear lines between certain subjects. But they're just the length of time that it took to get this changed and the number of people that were involved in getting this changed, it was a huge deal.
You can't see my face, but the amount of eye rolling I've done during this entire topic is through the roof.
There's a really good documentary on if you go to Dartmouth University's library website, it was on their front page because it was just released not that long ago, I believe. Just like a student documentary about this whole process that they went through with the I think it was some immigrant activist group. You know, it had its own
Sure.
acronym for the
Right.
Dreamers
Yeah.
and they have a free. You can just go on there and view it. I think it's 54 minutes
Okay.
documentary, and it's really good. It kind of explains all of the points along there, but then it ends back in like 2014, 15.
So how did they get around the ban from Congress?
They had to wait a certain amount of time because it was tied. My understanding is that the reason they did it was, how Congress always has to do things kind of roundabout.
Sure.
So they didn't necessarily make a law that says you can't
You
change
can't.
this word. They just tied something to a funding bill.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if you do this, you won't be able to get something along those
Sure.
lines.
So once
it was,
the funding expired.
So it was a non-permanent solution, and this is just how long it took
Librarians
for that to change.
are superheroes.
Yeah, so that was
Truly.
a big change. And then, some of the complaints of the conservative Congress people that were against this change were that, like, illegal alien and the word alien is actually used in the law all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Library of Congress is there to serve Congress, and it does a lot of stuff with the law.
Sure.
So if someone is looking for something, an article about or a law about illegal aliens, they do still need to be able to find that.
Sure.
But the way that these subject headings work is you just link illegal aliens to
Right.
unauthorized
It's not
immigration.
erasing that by any means.
There's the things called broader terms and narrower terms,
Right.
and you just link them, but the term, your preferred term, is now going to be unauthorized immigration or non-citizens, depending on. And I mean, come on, non-citizens versus aliens. It's
it seems pretty night and day.
no matter what political bend you have, you can see the usefulness
pretty
of
clear.
using
It's
non-citizens.
pretty clear.
If you're searching through the government documents for aliens,
Yeah, probably not.
There's going to be two sets of things there.
Probably not a ton of people going to the Library of Congress looking up things about ET.
You might be surprised.
Honestly, though, wouldn't be the craziest thing I've
You might
ever
be
heard to
surprised.
come out of DC. So,
But like I said, it's going to make a huge difference because the Library of Congress subject headings, a lot of their standards are used at most academic libraries in the
Right.
country, and then they're used all over the world for, like, English language materials.
right.
So
Well, that's a feel-good
Just-
story.
just a little bit of a
Library news.
library news for you.
Shout out to librarians.
Yes.
They're the best.
So as a librarian, Kelsey, what are your book recommendations this month?
Okay. let's do this. So I actually read this book a couple months ago, but I haven't had a chance to talk about it. It's
It
called
sounds like a movie.
It is very good. It is called Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda. Megan is a New York Times bestseller. She's a really great author. I've actually had a chance to talk to her a couple times. She's pretty cool
Oh.
on a personal level. She sent me one of her books signed one time.
Was this like a Twitter hello or?
Yeah, I think it was on Instagram or something
Yeah.
like that. But she was super friendly, seemed really down to earth. But yeah, this is a kind of a domestic thriller. It takes place kind of like in an HOA neighborhood, which is comical to me as like I said, build a house in an HOA right now. And I'm already like, these rules are dumb, but I haven't even moved in yet. But so anyway, so it takes place in an HOA and a couple is found murdered in their home. And so the whole,
I'm sure that's against the rules.
oh, I mean, if I can't have an above ground pool in my backyard for my 4-year-old, I would say I probably can't have a dead body either. But who knows? And so, yeah, this couple is found dead in their home and the entire neighborhood turned on one person. And she actually went to prison,
Oh.
but she gets out and she comes back. And it's kind of a whole thing. So it's nice and creepy. It's a domestic thriller. It's pretty suspenseful. But yeah, it's called Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda. She has a few other books that are super good if you're in the mood for a thriller.
So, is the darkness over now? Do we have lighter books?
We do have lighter books.
We've talked before that we often go.
We go so dark.
We go dark, and it's the holidays, so we have to have something to brighten ourselves up.
I will say though, this is not a book recommendation. This is a book unrecommendation.
Oh. I didn't know that was happening.
It's happening. It's happening so hard because I read this book, and I'm not going to give it away. I gave it away in the workroom yesterday. I screamed
this is the
about
book
it.
You were talking about?
I screamed it.
Okay.
I screamed it to my husband when I was at home. I screamed it to you guys in the workroom because I was just so shocked by this book. And I should start with saying, just because I don't like it doesn't mean you shouldn't read it. It's still a book recommendation. You can read whatever you want. And if you're into
if you're into this, then you'll like this book.
If you're into Hallmark movies that are so... if you love a good cheesy Hallmark movie that could not ever happen in real life, this is the book for you.
Are we talking like the one where the knight gets sent forward in time by a witch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, something like
Gotcha.
that. And again, I cannot spoil this book. But
Because I know that's a Vanessa Hudgens movie.
Yes. So this is called All I Want for Christmas, and it's by Wendy Logia. Logia, Loggia. Guys, this book. So it's a love triangle taking place during Christmas time. And there's just a twist in the second to last chapter that I personally did not see coming, and I was so infuriated by this twist because it's just so unrealistic. And I want to read stuff that is real and can happen.
So tell me, is it as if you were reading this book and the whole time you're just, in a normal universe, and then all of a sudden there's a werewolf?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a really good way, because you know what happened in the book. 'Cause I seriously screamed about it in the workroom yesterday at anyone who was working back there.
So there was no hint of...
Absolutely not.
Gotcha.
And I guess looking back now, I could be like, okay, maybe. But again, with these...
So maybe it's actually a really well-written book.
But yeah, maybe.
You just didn't pick up
maybe
on any
I'm
of
just
it.
a trash reviewer and I have the worst taste. But I mean, looking back, I'm like, yeah, maybe that was pretty unrealistic. But when I read these holiday books, I expect some cheesiness. I expect it's going to snow every Christmas day when we all know in real life it's going to be 67 degrees.
That's the way it's looking this year.
Yeah. So I expect a little bit of the cheesiness. Not so much what this was. Again, this is All I Want for Christmas by Wendy Logia. Sorry if I...
And we have plenty of other Christmas romances.
Tons of Christmas. We've got I've got one holiday book back in YA that's a bunch of short stories, but it's all different holidays. So it's not just your typical, because I know Christmas is
4th of July.
No, but it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Oh.
It's not just Christmas, which is really, thrown in everybody's face. Let's be real. So
By Kelsey.
Yeah, I do love Christmas, but I'm self-aware that it's not the only holiday. And so the last book I have is another holiday book. It's called Kiss Me in New York by Catherine Ryder. This is another cheesy YA holiday rom-com, which really are my favorites. I love reading these kind of books this time of year. But this is about two people stranded in where are they at? JFK Airport. And so they decide to go out and about in the city since they're stranded. And they find a self-help book called Get Over Your Ex in 10 Easy Steps. And they follow these steps, and they're going to do it, gosh darn it. They're going to get over that ex. So it's cute. It's cheesy and snowy.
Yeah, I think you should definitely put up a little display of just the romances.
I have a display back in YA right now that's Beat the Winter Blues. And I found a bunch of blue covered books.
Oh.
I pulled this one off there because it happens to be blue, but yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of new books from the nonfiction. Sorry that we always do YA and nonfiction and
It's
nothing
just
else.
our expertise. Hey, Megan Miranda was an adult book.
Yeah. See, that's another reason we have to get Shirley here is because she does everything else.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple here. So this one is not an interesting cover,
I was going to say, I am seriously disappointed in Jacob's selection
but
if we're basing it off the covers.
it is a very interesting subject. It's called We Are Bellingcat, Global Crime, Online Sleuths, and the Bold Future of News.
Okay.
So Bellingcat is actually like a news organization. I don't believe they do a print publication, but they do have an online website, and they use like open source sources and all these like technological tools to do like really in-depth serious journalism online, and they have uncovered all kinds of things. I believe that they were the ones that I don't know if you remember. Back to darkness for a moment.
Jeez.
I don't know if you remember in Syria when Bashar al-Assad used those chemical weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that proved that he used chemical weapons.
Every episode is about death.
They identified neo-Nazis from the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally.
There was just a ruling on that.
There
as
was,
we came down here, I got
as we
an
walked
alert.
down here,
Yeah.
they were determined responsible for the damages.
Right. I
For
think it
$25 million.
was. Yes. Yeah. I was trying to pull it up super fast.
And they also have exposed a Kremlin hit team that assassinated some people in Europe. And and there was a plane that was downed in Ukraine, and they showed who did that. They used just like these really interesting, like professional, you can have a professional Google Earth, and they just used like clues of, metadata and images on tweets and all kinds of stuff to really do some really impressive journalism online. So if you ever want to check out their website or come in and check out this book, because it is really interesting.
Okay.
And then this other one is just for fun. I've got America the Beautiful from National Geographic.
That cover is better than I thought
It's nice.
originally.
But it's just a bunch of pictures from National Geographic that kind of tells, the story of all of the unique and interesting landscapes and towns and things in America.
Yeah, that's
But it's
fun.
just really nice. Jimmy Buffett, very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Jacob
to
just
Florida.
stopped on a page, and it was just about Jimmy Buffett.
But it's just a nice little one of those things where it's like you see it at a bookstore and it's like $100,
Yeah.
and you want to know what's inside.
Sure.
Just come to the library.
Looks like a good coffee table book.
You can make your decision on whether or not you want to spend that $100 by looking in the library first.
Yeah.
Got Santa in there. This is in Missouri.
Oh my gosh, where?
Two Santas chat after the parade of red suits, part of Discover Santa, an annual convention held in Branson, where up to 750 professional Santas get together and hone their skills.
If you had said, Kelsey, where in Missouri do you think I could find a Santa convention? I would have said absolutely Branson, Missouri. So that is not surprising at all. And that's not hate to Branson, because
That's love
I
to Branson.
honestly like Branson.
Yeah, that's love to Branson.
I love a good cheesy vacation. So, and that's what that is. The Titanic Museum, sign me up.
Oh, yes.
It's so fun.
Yeah, been there once.
And again, death.
Well,
I'm like a shipwreck. Cool. That sounds fun. Gosh, man.
Well, we're going to have a whole lot of really interesting, unique holiday-themed programs coming up this month. So can you tell me, because I brought this up to you and then you knew a lot more about it than I did, this month-long
Yeah. Yeah.
Color Me.
So
Is it Color Me Red? I am assuming.
yeah, Color Me
Not
Red.
Read.
No, not Color Me Read, but I did pronounce it that way when I first read it.
Me too.
It's just, yeah, whatever. So yeah, this is called Color Me Red. It's a new program we're implementing the month of December. So this will start December 1st, which I think is what, next Wednesday,
Yeah, next week for sure.
Thursday, something like that. So
Whenever this comes out.
yeah, yeah. As soon as you hear this, run in and see us, and we'll give you a coloring book because that's what this program is. So during December, visit any of our 4 locations. 4 locations are East Hills, Downtown, Washington Park, and Carnegie.
Mm-hmm.
And when you check out any library item, you will receive a free coloring book. That's while supplies last, but we do have some really cool coloring books. We have them for all ages,
Oh.
children to adult. We've got a lot.
Well, that's
So,
great.
Yeah, and you, like I said, anytime you come in and check something out, you get a free coloring
We
book.
used to have an adult
Coloring, yeah.
coloring club
Yep.
that some people really enjoyed coming to, but that got cut for now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then poor Pam retired. So
Yeah, Pam was the one who hosted that, and she retired and is living her best grandma life.
Yeah, she loves retirement.
She loves her grandbabies so much, so we're happy for Pam if she somehow listens to this.
We'll have to send it to her.
Yeah, there you go. We can send it. Hi, Pam. So another thing we have going on that is kind of unique this month is going to be the Adult Take and Make Preserving Family Recipes. And the description is family recipes have a way of holding so many memories and are often treasured family keepsakes. Learn how to preserve your family recipes and create your own recipe box with this Take and Make, which sounds so cool. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, they're really trying to make these crafts and whatnot unique and impactful.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
because
So
we've got all the things that we normally have, there's always going to be the ukulele string and strum along, the Turkey Tuesdays to go, Wacky Wednesday take and makes. There's going to be, the book clubs and all of those things. But then we try to sprinkle in these ones that are a little more unique. So there's also going to be a teen take and make that's going to be a holiday terrarium where you can create a winter wonderland of your own. You'll create a festive holiday terrarium that can be displayed or hung as a tree ornament. And you'll just need to sign up for that online, and then you can pick it up at any of our locations.
I love that idea. I saw that on the calendar, and I think that's so creative. So another take and make we have this month is going to be the Adult Take and Make Santa hat. And this is by Robbie downtown. So
Sarah's husband.
we give him a shout out every single episode. So you just pick up this kit. You do need a hot glue gun, it says. But you'll pick this up from the downtown branch and make your little Santa hat. I haven't seen it, but Sarah said it is super cute.
If Robbie made it, I'm sure there's
Adorable.
something special about it.
Yeah.
He's not one to make run-of-the-mill anything.
No. He's so funny. But yeah, I think this will be a great kit. And then we also have the Steam Take and Make crystal growing. So this kit includes a glass container, and it needs to be picked up at East Hills. So that is kind of unique. You have to pick it up at our branch because we cannot send them. When we send stuff from library to library, it goes in a crate in the back of the van. So with glass, it's kind of iffy. So yeah, you'll pick this up from here, and you do have to reserve it online. I saw Crystal do it. Crystal.
Because it's crystals.
Because it's crystals. I was like, where did I get crystal? That makes sense. I saw Elizabeth doing this in the makerspace the other day, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. And this one does need some required adult assistance because it has borax in it.
Right. It's recommended for ages 8 and up.
Yeah. And then we are having, I think we talked about it last month, it started the Checkers TV.
Yes.
That is still going on throughout this month. There's an episode every... I
think it's every Sunday.
It's every week on...
it's on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
And then you can get your little craft to go with that episode.
Yeah, we have crafts just out with those, and they are actually really cute. They're simple, which I appreciate as a parent.
Because it's for younger children, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of just cutting and gluing.
Yeah. So
they are really cute crafts. Definitely recommend checking that out. So another thing we have going on is Maker Monday, no-sew stuffed octopus. And so this, you make a little toy. It says with yarn, fiber fill, and I don't know what else.
Yeah, I'm very curious
I
how
wanna
to
see
make a
this one.
no-sew stuffed octopus. I wonder if you like, those blankets we would do when we were kids, where you just cut the ends and then tie them together.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. This is, Misty from downtown is doing this one. So it does say kits are limited. You need to register online, but you can go online or call the downtown branch and yeah, they'll help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And then there's going to be the virtual DIY Why Don't You is going to be a beginning crochet class. And it says that Evelyn is going to guide you through making a granny square with yarn and a crochet hook that the library will provide to you.
I love that.
So you go pick up the kit, and then there will be a video on the YouTube page where you can learn how to start crocheting.
That's perfect. I'm a crocheter.
Yeah, it seems like everyone at the library crochets.
There's a lot of us that crochet, so when I saw this, that's exciting.
Might need a crochet club soon.
I think once we open back up, there's stuff in the works, I'm telling you. This is the one that I am the most excited about. This is a virtual book club, but this is for the book In a Holidays, which is by Christina Lauren. That is one of my favorite books of all time. Not even just holiday related. Christina Lauren is a pair of best friends. Those are their first names put together.
Christina Lauren?
Yes.
And that's the name of the author?
Yes.
Because it's these two people.
They co-write these books.
That's
which I
interesting.
didn't know this until I really started digging into these books. In a Holidays was the first one I ever read because I was like, oh, Christmas rom-com? Yes, please.
Now, did Jenny tell you about the book? Or did
Probably.
You find
Jenny tells me most books that I read. And so they are actually, it sounds like they picked some book clubs to attend, and they picked ours.
Oh.
Which is so cool. So Christina and Lauren will be there. This is led by Jenny virtually via Zoom. You do have to sign up on the calendar. As soon as they let Jenny know that this was happening, she sent me a message and was like, Christina Lauren's coming to our book club, and I signed up instantly, which I did not know that signups were not open to the public. And so Jenny got the notification and was like, how did you sign up already? Whoops. But yeah, this is super exciting, really cool.
And we have another Robbie original here. I think we talked about his origami raven for Halloween, or maybe that was...
It was around
November?
there. I don't remember. It was around
But
there.
he's got another origami project that you can pick up at downtown to make a star.
Cute.
Which I'm kind of wondering how that... Because, origami is just folding one piece of paper.
Yeah.
So it's like, how...
He sent me one of his origami kits, and I tried to do it, and I don't know. I don't have the patience for crafts.
You're not one for small, meticulous... I
don't want to be told what to do. I think that's my problem, but... I also I don't have the patience for it, but he's great with his kits and very thought out, whole 9 yards. Another fantastic program is the Teen Take and Make Marble Ornaments. I don't know who the heck's idea that was, but she's a genius. I'm just joking. That's mine. Yeah, so you'll pick up a kit. These can go to any of the 4 branches, but these are just ornaments, and we'll use some acrylic paint that we'll put inside and make it a marbleized ornament that you can hang or do whatever you want with that, but you got to sign up on the website. And then the next one we have is going to be the virtual Murder, She Read Cozy Mystery Book Club. This is another one of Jenny's. And this month will be, December's book will be Slashing Through the Snow by Jacqueline Frost. And the author will be there for that one too. I'm not familiar with that author, but Jenny's friends with
Slashing Through the Snow sounds quite interesting.
That sounds, honestly... some of my favorite things, murder and Christmas. So, maybe I should attend. I have gone to a few, but it's hard for me to get there with my kids, and I don't have much.
Those virtual meetups on the internet are.
I don't have much time.
Real difficult to get to.
I don't have free time. Gosh.
Well, another virtual meetup we're gonna have is gonna be the Minecraft Monday. Elizabeth is bringing this back. She used to do all kinds of Minecraft stuff. And they're going to be getting back together for the winter break. And you can join them on Zoom and using the Bedrock edition of Minecraft to play together. And That's about it for the programs, but we do have to mention that the Friends are having their holiday book sale out in the lobby at East Hills. So we have hardbacks for $2, paperbacks, DVDs, and CDs for $1, and we accept cash, checks, and cards. And there is just a bunch of Christmas stuff, bunch of holiday stuff.
Like tables and tables of holiday books and DVDs, CDs. There were some like puzzles or something out there. I think they're gone now.
Anything
but
holiday themed is being
Crystal
sold.
has them set out there.
Yep.
So
For the rest of December.
yeah. Awesome. Lots of fun stuff happening, people.
Yep. So we're probably going to try to get another mid-month episode in here for December.
For sure.
Because we definitely have plenty more to say and do.
I mean, always have lots to say. Every time we start an episode, I'm like, man, do we have enough to talk about? And then
it goes on.
I'm like looking at the clock like, oh, okay, I've got to leave in 3 minutes. Like leave the building.
So yeah, thanks for listening today. And we will definitely see you back in the new year.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's crazy, right? When we record this. So we will see you again in January, and hopefully you'll come listen to us just have some fun in our mid-month episode.
All right. It's been real.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.